Hi, I'm Dave Challinor. I'm the gaffer, and this is Ask Me Anything. Is that right?
Yeah.
Good. Right, of the current squad, who do you think would make a good manager in the future and why? I hope they all have a go, that's the first thing, because they'll see potentially how different it would be. I'd suggest most have an inkling to go along that pathway. I think they'd all do an all right job, to be fair, initially. I suppose we don't really have noisy talkers, but you'd think of the leadership ones that are in there, a Paddy, a Crosby, that type. I might be wrong, they might want nothing to do with football after they finish playing. But I'd hope they all would have a go at it just to see where it takes them. What makes being Stockport County manager special to you? I suppose for me, in terms of coming into being a manager, it was about what steps I needed to take in terms of moving forward. And I suppose starting at a smaller club, going to a club with ambition that progressed moving forward. The next aim was always going to be to try and get to a bigger club where the expectation isn't just internally, it's externally in terms of fan base and things. I did that a little bit with Hartlepool, but then obviously coming here and coming back to probably a club where, from a playing perspective, it was completely opposite. I came to the club at not a really bad time, but the club was in a completely different place. So I suppose the opportunity to be able to come back here and from a personal perspective have some success, right some wrongs a little bit, and have a more positive influence on the club in an upward journey rather than a downward one, has been really pleasing. Hopefully that'll continue for a long time. When you were a player for Counties, did you ever think you'd come back as a manager? Probably not. I think, as I say, players, managers will look at it in different things in terms of when their playing career finishes and what they want to do. I always wanted to stay in football, so as people know, I did a physio degree with the hope of potentially staying in that way, but I always wanted to be a manager. Those opportunities are few and far between, and I started right at the bottom, got an opportunity to be a player manager, and moved forward like that. But when you're, I suppose, looking for what opportunities potentially open themselves up, I don't think you ever look and think, you could dream a little bit and say, I'd love to go there, I'd love to go there. But the reality of it is, that's guided by how well you do. And like I say, I'm really thankful I've got the opportunity to come back and be the current manager. Who's the best player you've coached, as in how hard they've worked to improve the game? I think the way football is now, virtually every player tries to improve the game and will work hard individually in terms of where they currently are and where they want to get to. I think it's a great question, a really tough question in terms of picking one individual player out, like I say, because I suppose that now, maybe, football has moved on, maybe 20 plus years ago, that wasn't the norm, whereas now it is the norm. The biggest thing for me, and we speak to this about the players that come in, is giving them the tools to be able to play at the highest level they can. And in terms of best players I've coached, that's a really tough one to answer. Who would win in a fight, me or Clint Hill? I hope we never find out. I don't think we ever will. I'm sure as with everything, we'd all back ourselves. Clint's got more red cards than me, certainly. But I don't think I'll ever fight in a fight with Clint. Other than the training ground, what's been the biggest change, improvement you've seen from your playing days at Edgeley Park? Absolutely, the training ground. I think, listen, we were fortunate at the time to have Timperley, but it was nowhere near the scale of what this was. I think the whole club's changed across the board. Mark as an owner, and as a person really, he's very, very much a people person. And I think the one thing that not that it was dissimilar last time, the one thing you can say at the football club is everyone who works here or has an involvement here are good people, and are treated really, really well. You only need to look at the work that's gone on at the ground to see the investment that's been made in terms of the attention to detail. That's exactly the same here, and it'll be a constant. So as much as, like I say, our surroundings are amazing, there's always drive to improve them by that 1%. And it's exactly the same at Edgeley. We're filling out a 10,500 all-seater stadium at the moment. I think the aim will be to fill out a 15,000 seat stadium or fill out a 20,000 seat stadium. The club will continue to move forward, and that's why it's great to be part of what's going on. If you had to fight either 10 duck-sized Kyle Wottons or 1 horse-sized Macca Southern Hales, which would you pick and why? Some question. I'd definitely go for the 10 duck-sized Kyle Wottons, because I'd fancy that 10 duck-sized things I could probably kick and at least layer the glove on some of them rather than something that was horse-sized, if that makes sense. Who's been our toughest opponent this season and why? I think there's been lots of tough opponents. I think probably you go back and look now and what the table looks like. Statistics say that Leyton Orient are the best team, and I think they were our toughest opponent, especially in the home game. I thought we were brilliant on the day, yet they found a way of winning, and hence why they're champions. Thankfully, we managed to get our own back last weekend, but they're probably our toughest opponent and certainly deserved champions. Favourite moment other than winning the National League title since joining in October 2021? Listen, already there's been lots and lots of special occasions and memories made. I've spoken about one in my programme notes this weekend when I first came to the football club, and obviously Connor Jennings was here, and Connor's now gone off to Hartlepool. And him going through what he went through over a few years in terms of his illness and the surgery and all them things, a big memory was him or being able to give him the opportunity to get back on the pitch in the home game, I think against Kings Lynn, and no surprise that he went and scored in that 10-minute or 15-minute cameo when he scored a goal on his return at the Cheadle end. I think that was, like I say, a special moment for everyone at the club. So great to be involved in that. Listen, we're in the last 2 years, I've been spoilt with great memories, not just on a collective basis, on an individual basis. My first game, to be able to go to Bolton and have 5,000 Stockport fans there was amazing. The replay obviously speaks for itself. You then go back to Chesterfield away, when I suppose that was the first time that we maybe felt that the prize was there for us at the back end of that season. This season, loads and loads of memories. We've again become spoilt because having a sellout at Edgeley almost becomes the norm now, which is amazing when you consider where we've gone from and to in such a short space of time. So loads of things stand out. I don't think, like I say, at the moment, nothing will top winning the title. We hope that there's another special moment not too far around the corner, be that in a few days or a few weeks' time. And if that is the case, then that'll top anything we've done up to now.